Hello Libra, thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann, Supportive Oracle Cards, the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. Okay. Alright. What are we doing with this? I feel like we're getting clumps of cards. Why are we doing that? Interesting. Okay. Like, things are coming up from out of nowhere is what I'm already thinking. Things are going to start coming up out of nowhere. And I feel like this whole situation is going to be a pop-up situation. Okay. I wasn't planning to do these all face down, but I guess we did. So, it's popping up. It feels like it's a pop-up situation. Something that you thought was over is not over. That's the first thing I'm getting with the bat. It's kind of like this keeps happening. Whatever this is, I feel like you thought you solved it. That's how this is starting off. Like you thought you solved it, or at least calmed it down enough to where you shouldn't have to deal with it again. Bam, it's back. Whatever it is, it's back. The lizard spirit and the cow spirit are coming in though. Whatever it is you thought was done, somebody else thinks it can go better. They think they have better ideas. And they don't like what's been done. They don't like how it's been going. It's been waiting here. They've been very quiet about it for the longest time. And then, bam, it's here. It's back. This is just the start. Like, what else can I say about that for right now? It's starting right off. I'm getting, like, 17 seems very significant. I have no idea why. I'm just literally seeing 17 and that's it. There's no images around it. There's nothing else. So, whatever. Whatever you think with that, go with it. Maybe for some of you, I'm guessing it'll make sense. Coming in this next situation is like, all right, once it happens, you just kind of like, all right, well, I've done this before. I didn't think I'd have to deal with this again, but you know what to do with it, and you get right into it, and you start handling it immediately. I didn't think I'd have to deal with this again, but I guess we're gonna. And you just seem to get right into it and just swim right through it like you need to. You got the Nine of Cups with the Panther Spirit. You're like, if this is happening, I've learned from in the past, the quicker I get a hold of it, the quicker I get control of it, the easier this goes. So I need to get in there quick, get control of this, bring everything together, just move fast, take care of it. And I feel like fairly quickly you seem to get a hold of the situation. Kind of like, yeah, I've dealt with this before. I've learned the hard way. Do it as soon as I know what's happening, as soon as you, as the Libra, know what's happening, get right into it. Get right to it. Handle it right away. Because if you leave it to the side, that's when it gets bad. And you're like, I don't need that. I'm going to get right into it, handle it as soon as I can. You know, try to calm it down as soon as I can. Okay, so you get right on it. You get right on it. With that Panther Spirit, I feel like you get right on it. You're like, no, I can't wait for this to kind of have a moment. I gotta get right on it. And you do. You get right on it. All right, so you seem to be very successful with that. And it doesn't seem like it's a problem. You got the Scarab Beetle, which talks about magic, and the Judgment card, which I feel like people are like, okay, no, you make sense, Libra. Okay, Libra. Yes, Libra. I feel like people are listening. People are listening, and they're liking what they're hearing. You're like addressing things. They're like, but what about that, Libra? And you're like, well, this is what's going on with that, and I'm gonna handle this over there, so you don't need to worry about that. And I'm gonna go over here and take care of this over here. So what I need from you to keep this going well is to, and whatever you tell them to do. And I feel like it's not that big a deal. You're not asking very much of anybody. And they're like, okay, I can do that. But again, you've handled this many times before is what I'm getting. And I feel like you already know what you need to do and how to. You seem to have this on lock. You're like, I know exactly what to do with this. I just didn't think I'd have to deal with this again. So you handle it. It shuts it down. Does it shut it down? Seems to shut it down. We got more face down cards here. Okay. Things seem to stabilize again. Page of Pentacles with the Swan. Time for a deep dive. There's a lot of... Look at the pink on that card. Does it not look like a heart? To me, it looks like a heart. I feel like people are comfortable. Comfortable, and they feel very comfortable. Cozy, I want to say cozy, if that makes sense. Like, comfortable in a cozy way. Kind of like very secure, not really worried. Things are seeming to go the right way. They want to keep them the right way. That seems to be fine. Whatever this was, I think literally because of the way you handled it, I don't think it lasted very long. I don't think it was a problem for very long. We're not at the end, though, I'm noticing. So let's see what comes next. So the energy calms down and goes back to where it was supposed to be. Now, I feel like you're immediately addressing, like, the history of this. Like, okay, hold on. You want to know why. I thought we were done with this. It popped up very briefly because you squashed it. Cool. But you're like, why? Why are we dealing with this again? Why is this an issue again? Very smart. I think that's normal for y'all, isn't it? Let me know. But, like, if something pops up like that, you're like, well, why? Why did we have that happening, and what do we need to do with that? You got the Magician coming in with the Two of Pentacles. Kind of like, I need to find the stability here. I need to find out what's really going on because I need to make different choices. Because the choices I made before, I thought were going to keep this under control. But that's the Magician, you figuring it out. And not only figuring it out, but taking new action. You also have the Ace of Swords coming in. But the way it's coming in is, it seems like it's adding in, like somebody else's... I feel like this is another person, ironically. I really do feel like this is another person coming into the mix that's going to be like, well, listen, Libra. I know something that you might not know. I know something I feel like I should tell you. And I feel like somebody's bringing in some missing pieces here. Like, while you think that's all cool and dandy over there, this has been going on over here. And when this information is coming towards you, you're kind of listening to it, and you're kind of like, all right, wait a minute, I got to reevaluate what's going on here. This new information is only coming forward because you're searching it out. Will not come forward to you unless you search it out. What do we have for the last piece here? Something is going on, and I don't think you like it. You got the Five of Swords, kind of like, all right, wait a minute. By searching this out, you're finding out what's going on behind the scenes. You're finding out, like, I thought I knew what was going on. I searched things out. This person, whoever is telling you stuff, they will not approach you. It's almost like you approach them, and then they spill the beans. That Ace of Swords, I still feel like it's a person, and I feel like when you search them out, then they spill the beans. And you're like, oh, for the love of God, okay. All right. Because that's your Five of Swords moment. Like, now that I know this, it's one of those things kind of like, can I even do anything about it? And it's questionable. It's kind of like, I feel like it's stuck. It's not going to change. It's something going off to the side here. Maybe somebody with a bad attitude or some type of situation that has to be handled the way it's handled. Maybe you're finding out somebody has more of a disruptive life than you thought they did, and you're realizing somebody isn't as stable as you thought they were. Something like that. And you're like, I'm not going to be able to stabilize their life. That's clear. And I'm not going to be able to change what they do in this position. I don't know if it's going to be a problem again, but I can see where it could be. So it's almost like the Five of Swords is like, I don't know if it's going to pop up again or not, but it's going to be a constant issue, and I can't fix it. It's one of those things where that's out of my realm. It's like, it's almost like you have a coworker, and you know that their home life is messed up, and you're like, well, I can't fix their home life. That's not my business. I don't want to. But it's always that's always going to be a factor here. I don't know if it's going to cause a major disruption, but it could. And it's going to keep... I think the Eight of Wands is kind of like... It's almost like you're kind of like, I'm not crossing that line. I'm not going to... I can't cross that line. I can't live everybody's life for them. I can't do that. I can't live their life for them. So it's like a line you're not willing to cross. At the same time, you got the Knight of Swords with the Bobcat spirit. It's something you're trying to keep an eye on, but you're kind of like, well, what else do I need to keep an eye on with this person? I feel like you might actually... When you realize like there's more problems here, it's almost like maybe I need to find out more information. Is there a way I can do that without causing more disruption? Because I feel like it's a mystery and you're trying to debunk this mystery, but the two of these together is kind of like you're trying to keep your eye on this mystery. The Knight of Swords, no, is that the Knight of Swords? Yeah, it is. It's the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords with the Bobcat spirit, you're trying to keep your eye on the mystery. You're trying to keep your eye on what's actually happening here. But literally, it's a wild card. The best you're going to be able to do with this, once you realize it, is to keep your eye on it. When you keep your eye on it, as soon as it starts, you're going to be able to shut it down. But I feel like that's what you're headed for. If you didn't know about it, I feel like you just have to wait till it becomes a problem to deal with it. The fact that you do know about it, you might be able to shortcut it. Once you see it starting to become an issue, once it starts to rear its head and be like, rah, you can be like, okay, let's calm down. Let's not have a problem. Instead of just waiting for a problem to show up, you will see it start there and be able to shut it down before it becomes a actual problem. It's kind of like before the cake gets knocked on the floor, you can see the crazy kid running through the house that's going to possibly do that. And you're like, whoa, 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 let's slow down that kid so they don't knock the cake off onto the floor. So that way otherwise, if you don't know about it being there and you just ignore it, the cake might end up on the floor and then you just have to deal with it once the cake is on the floor, which is not ideal. Because I think that's what you're headed for. It's something you're going to have to kind of keep your eye on. But again, the whole need for that is to, like, before we have a major problem, like a cake all over the floor, you're able to shut it down before that happens. You'll see, like, oh, wait, it's starting to become an issue. Let's calm it down before we actually have a problem like a cake on the floor. Did you go with that? I think we're good. All right, I'm going to shut this down there. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.